Hello students, welcome to the second lecture on the lecture series on profit and loss. Okay, so previously what we have covered is we have covered the concepts, the basic concepts and some types of problems that are usually being asked on various competitive exams. So in this lecture what we will do is we will do some exercise problems to sharpen those formula and tricks, okay, so that we can utilize them in the exams, okay, in competitive exams. So let's go forward with this lecture and solve some exercise problems. So we'll be covering some exercise problems, and this is the second lecture on the lecture series. So let's start with problem number 1. So a shirt was bought for 40 rupees. Okay, so this is what? This is cost price, right? Cost price is the amount at which the shopkeeper buys things. Okay, and it sold the shirt for 50 rupees, right? So this is the selling price, because this was the price that was given to the shopkeeper after selling it. Okay, so calculate the profit percentage. So profit percentage is equal to profit gain by cost price into 100. So this is equal to what? How much profit did she gain? So selling price, that is 50, minus 40, that is the cost price. Selling price minus cost price is the profit gain, whole by cost price, CP. So CP is what? Cost price is 40, because at that price the shopkeeper bought it. Okay, so into 100. Okay, so this is equal to, cancelling a 0 from here and here. Okay, what we are left with is 10 by 4 into 10, right? 100 by 4 is equal to 25%. Okay, so the profit he made was 25%. Okay, so this was the profit percentage that the shopkeeper got. So let's see the step-by-step solution. So calculating the profit is equal to what? Selling price minus cost price. So it is 50 minus 40 is equal to 10, right? So let's see step number 2. So calculate the profit percentage. Profit percentage is equal to what? Profit by cost price into 100. Profit percentage is equal to 10 by 40 into 100 is equal to 25%. So profit percentage will be 25%. So let's see problem number 2. A toy was bought for 120 rupees and sold for 100 rupees. Then calculate the loss percentage. Okay, so the cost price for the toy was what? 120. So this is cost price, right? And it was sold for what? 100 rupees. So this is the selling price. So here I think you can guess we are having a loss, right? How we are having a loss? Because selling price is less than cost price. That is 120 here and this is 100 here. Okay, since 100 is less than 120, so we can say that selling price, that is SP, minus CP is negative here. Okay, so this implies loss. Okay, so how to calculate loss percentage? We have already known that loss percentage is calculated how? That is the loss amount by CP, that is cost price, into 100. So this will be what? So loss amount will be 120 minus 100 whole by cost price, that is 120 into 100, right? This is equal to 20 by 120 into 100. So cancelling a 0 out from here, and so what we are left with is 200 by 12. So it is 600 by 6, right? So this is equal to 50 by 3. So this much amount of percentage loss was incurred. Okay, so it will be something 16.66. Okay, so 16.667%. Okay, this much amount of loss will be incurring. Okay, if the toy was actually bought at 120 rupees and sold for 100 rupees. Okay, so calculating the loss. So loss is equal to what? Cost price minus selling price. So 120 minus 100, because cost price was 120 and selling price was 100. Okay, so it came out to be 20. So calculating the loss percentage. So loss percentage, how we can calculate it? So loss by cost price, right? So loss by cost price into 100. So loss percentage will be 20 by 120 into 100. So that is nothing but 16.67%. Okay, so the loss percentage is approximately equal to this much, or clearly if I say mathematically, it will be 16.6 bar percentage. Okay, so this will be a what rational number, but with repeating, non-repeating terms after the decimal. Okay, so let's see problem number 3. Okay, so an electronic gadget was actually bought for 750 rupees. Okay, so this will be what? This is called the cost price, right? And sold for 920. So this will be the selling price. So it tells us that calculate the profit percentage. So profit percentage, so selling price. So profit percentage will be, we know the formula, right? It will be profit gain by CP, that is the cost price, into 100, right? So profit gain is how much? 750. That is the selling price, sorry, 920 minus cost price, that is 750. So sell price minus cost price by cost price, that is 750, right? So this much into 100. So this will be equal to how much? So it will be 850. So 170 by 750, right? Into 100. So cancelling a 0 out from here. So what we are left with is 17 by 75 into 100. Okay. So this is nothing but, so selling price minus cost price is equal to what? 170. So profit percentage will be 170 by 750 into 100. That is equal to 22.67%. Okay. So the profit percentage is actually approximately 22.67%. So the main formula that we are using here is this. That is the profit by cost price into 100 is equal to profit percentage. So this is a very important formula. Okay. And for loss percentage, for percentage loss is equal to loss amount by CP cost price into 100. Okay. So this is the second formula that we are actually also using. Okay. So there is no difference. So if we want to calculate the profit percentage, what we do is we keep the new profit at the numerator. And when we are calculating the loss percentage, we keep the loss at the numerator. Okay. Loss amount. So all the other things, that the cost price always remains in the denominator. Here also the cost price always remains in the denominator, and we always multiply it by 100 to get it in percentage form. Okay. So the profit percentage came out to be 22.67%. So let's see 4 number question. Okay, question number 4. That is, Rani bought a shirt for 40 rupees. So since he bought this shirt, so this is the what? Cost price, right? And sold it for this much. So this is the selling price. Okay, then calculate the profit percentage C earned. Okay, so profit is equal to how much? Profit is equal to 55 minus 40, that is the selling price minus cost price, right? So since this is greater than 0, so this implies profit. Okay, we have confirmed it. So now what we do is to calculate profit percentage, we will use that formula. So profit percentage will be what? It will be equal to 15, right? So it will be 15 by 40 into 100. You will say how? Because 15 is what? This is profit amount, and this is CP, and this is multiplied by 100. So profit by CP into 100 is equal to what? Profit percentage. So it will be 3 by 8 into 100. So this will be 50 by 4 is equal to 3 into 25 by 2. So this will be 75 by 2. Okay. So this is 15 here. Okay. So profit percentage is equal to profit by cost price into 100, right? So profit percentage will be 15 by 40 into 100. So that is equal to 37.5%. Okay. So Rani earned a profit of 37.5%. So let's see problem number 5. So Majnu purchased a smartphone for 900 rupees and sold it for 750. Okay. So calculate the loss percentage he incurred. Okay. So Majnu purchased a smartphone for 900 rupees and sold it for 750, right? So calculate the loss percentage. So let's see whether it is actually a loss or not. Okay. So this is the cost price, right? And this is the selling price. So how to know whether it is a loss or profit? So selling price SP minus CP, that is the cost price, right? So this will be what? Selling price is equal to 750 minus CP, that is 900. So this comes out to be minus 150, right? That is less than 0. So since this is less than 0, so this implies loss. Okay, so the loss amount will be 150. 150 is equal to CP minus SP. Okay, that is equal to loss. So loss percentage is equal to loss amount is 150 by cost price is how much? 900, right? Into 100. So cancelling these zeros out. So what we are left with is 150 by 9. So it will be 3 and there will be 50. So this will be 16.67%. Okay, this much amount. Okay, so 16.67%. So let's see problem number 6. So an item was sold for 600 rupees. Okay, incurring a loss of 10%. Okay, here the type of question has been changed. Okay, previously what we are doing is we are only calculating the profit percentage or loss percentage, but now the things have shifted. Okay, how? So here now we are given the loss percentage. Okay, we want to calculate the cost price. Okay, the selling price is given, the loss percentage is given, the cost price is given. So this kind of questions will be, how these kind of questions will be designed? Because the formula, that is the profit percentage or loss percentage, you know how their formula work, that is equal to profit by CP into 100. Okay, so loss is equal to what? Loss by CP into 100, right? So here only one of these things can be given to, two of these things can be given to you, and you have to calculate the third one. Okay, if loss percentage is given, then and loss is given, then you need to calculate the CP. If profit percentage is given and profit is given, you need to calculate the CP. Okay, or if profit percentage and CP is given, you need to calculate the profit. And if you can calculate the profit, you can actually also calculate what? SP. Okay, so by giving any two of these, okay, among these three, if you are given only two, then you can actually calculate the other two. Okay, that is either you can calculate also the SP or profit percentage or CP. Okay, so let's go forward and see how we can do it. Okay, so the selling price was this much. So incurring a loss of 10%. Okay, find the cost price. Let CP of the product is equal to X. Okay, this is the amount that was paid to someone for to what? Get it. Okay, so this is the cost price of that item. Okay, so it tells us that incurring a loss of 10%. Okay, so loss is equal to what? Loss is equal to CP minus SP. Okay, so the product was sold for 600 rupees. Okay, so CP is equal to what? X minus 600. Okay, and loss percentage is what? Loss percentage is equal to loss by CP into 100, right? So this implies that 10 is equal to what? Loss is equal to X minus 600 whole by X into 100. Okay, so as you can see here, we have converted this word problem to an algebraic problem. Okay, so now what it means is, so 10x is equal to 100x minus 6000. Sorry, it will be 60,000, right? So this implies that what? 90x is equal to, that is 100x minus 10x. Okay, so you can see this is equal to 90x. So this is equal to 60,000. Okay, so this implies that x is equal to what? 6,000 by 9, right? So this is 2,000 by 3. So this will be what? This will be 2,000 by 3. Okay, so the cost price will be 2,000 by 3. So let's see. So an item was sold for 600, incurring a loss of 10%. Then we want to find the cost price. Let the CP be the CP price, cost price of that item. We have assumed this to be X, right? So given that the item was sold for this much and at a loss of 10%, we can calculate the selling price using the formula So loss is equal to cost price into loss percentage loss. Okay. So CP into 0.10. That is in decimal form. Okay. So this is the method number 2. So this is method 2. Okay. This is by method 2. Okay. So selling price is equal to cost price minus loss in selling price. Okay. So CP minus 0.10 into CP is equal to 0.90 CP. So we are given that the selling price is 600, right? So we can set up an equation. So 0.90 into CP is equal to 600. Okay. So now solve for the cost price. So CP is equal to 600 by 0.90. Okay. So CP is equal to 666.67. So the cost price of the item is actually approximately 666.67. Okay. So the cost price will be this much. So let's see problem number 7. Okay. So an item was bought for 800 rupees and sold at a profit of 25%. Okay. So this is the cost price and sold at a profit of 25%. So so since the profit is 25% and we have the cost price, so 25% of 800, that is the cost price, CP, is equal to what? 25 by 100 into 800, right? Is equal to what? So cutting 2 zeros out from numerator and denominator, what we are left with is 25 into 8 is equal to 200. So 200 rupees will be his profit amount. Okay. So since his profit amount is this much, so selling price is equal to what? CP plus profit. So this will be equal to 800 plus 200. So this will be nothing but 1000, right? So 1000 rupees will be the selling price. So this is the selling price of that item. Okay. So if an item is bought at 800 rupees and sold at a profit of 25%, then the selling price will be 1000 rupees. Okay. So let's see the step-by-step solution. So calculating the profit amount using the formula what? Profit amount is equal to profit percentage into cost price. So this is all again by method number 2. Okay. So profit amount is equal to 25% of 800 is equal to 200 rupees. Okay. So using the formula of selling price when profit is earned. So selling price is equal to cost price plus profit amount. So selling price is equal to 800 plus 200 is equal to 1000 rupees. So selling price is nothing but 1000 rupees. So an item is actually sold for 1200 rupees, resulting in a loss of 15%. Then what was the cost price? Okay. So item is sold at this price. So this is the selling price, right? So resulting in a loss of 15%. So loss percentage is equal to 15%. And we know how we calculate loss percentage. This implies that loss amount by CP cost price into 100 is equal to 15%, right? So this implies that we can say that loss amount by CP is equal to actually 15 by 100. Okay, this is what we can say. So let's see. So what is the cost price? Let CP is equal to X. Okay. So 15% loss, right? So 0.15x. Okay. X minus 0.15x is equal to 1200. Okay. Because selling price is equal to what? Selling price is equal to cost price minus loss amount. Okay. So loss amount is what? This much into CP. So this implies that loss amount is equal to what? So loss amount is equal to, so this will be what? 0.15, right? 0.15. So CP is equal to what? X. So multiplying here. So this implies that loss amount is equal to 0.15 into CP. Okay. So since we have assumed CP as X, so this will be the loss amount. So selling price is equal to this. So this implies that 1200 is actually equal to X minus 0.15x. So this is equal to X into 1 minus 0.15. So this is equal to what? 0.85x. This implies that X is equal to what? 1200 into 0.85. Okay. 0.85. So this is equal to what? 1200 into 100. whole by 85. Okay. So let's see. So let the CP be the cost price of the item. So given that it was sold at this much, so this is the selling price at a loss of 15%. We can calculate the selling price using the formula for cost price into loss percentage, that is CP into 0.15. So selling price will be what? CP minus 0.15 CP. So 0.85 CP. Okay, so since 0.85 CP is equal to 1200. So what we are left with is 1200 by 0.85. So this is nothing but 1411.76. So this is the correct and final answer. Okay, so the cost price of the item is approximately 1411.76. Okay, so let's see problem number 9. So Sonia sold a bicycle for 320 rupees and earned a profit of 25%. So calculate the cost price of the bicycle. Okay, so let the cost price be C. So calculate the profit. So profit is equal to selling price minus cost price. So profit is equal to 25% of cost price. So profit is equal to 0.25 C. Okay. So setting up the equation to convert the word problem into an algebraic equation, 320 is equal to C plus 0.25 C. So 320 is equal to 1.25 C. So solving for C, what we are left with is C is equal to 320 by 1.25. So this is nothing but 256 rupees. Okay. So the cost price of the bicycle is 256 rupees. So Ravi purchased a laptop for 1200 and wants to sell it at 15% profit. So calculate the selling price he should set. Okay. So he purchased the laptop for this. So see, this is CP for Ravi. Okay. Because he bought it for this much, but he wants to sell it. So there will be a selling price. Okay. So he wants to have 15% profit. Okay. So 15% profit means, so profit percentage is equal to profit amount by CP into 100. This formula we know, right? So this will be what? So profit amount we don't know, let it be X. So this much by CP, that is equal to 1200 into 100. And he wanted the profit to be 15%, right? So this implies that X is equal to what? 1200 into 15 by 100, right? So cancelling the two zeros out from the numerator and denominator, what we are left with is 12 into 15. Okay, so this much amount. So it will be equal to what? 12 into 15 will be 180, right? So 1 will be the profit amount. So selling price is equal to what? So selling cost price plus profit. So cost price is 1200 plus 180 is the profit. So what we are left with is equal to 1380 rupees. Okay, so this much amount. So let the selling price be S. So calculating the profit, selling price minus cost price. So 0.15 into this much, so is equal to 180. So setting up the equation, that is S is equal to cost price plus profit. So 1200 plus 180 is equal to what? 1380. So 1380 will be the selling price, after which he can get 15% of profit. Okay. So in order to get this much amount of profit, he needs 1380. He needs to sell it at this much amount. So let's see problem number 11. A shirt is initially priced at 40 rupees. Okay. It is first discounted by 20% and then discounted price is further discounted by 10%. Then find the final selling price. Okay. So CP is equal to 40 rupees, right? So after discount, so after D1, what will be the price? Okay. So discount price will be, so D1 is equal to 20% discount, right? So 20 by 100 into 40. So this will be equal to, cancelling a 0 from numerator and denominator, what we are left with is 8. Okay. So 8 will be the discount amount, 8 rupees. Okay. So now the selling price, discounted price after D1 will be what? It will be 40 minus 8 is equal to 32 rupees, right? So now after D2, so D2 will be what? So it will be 10% of 32, that is the discounted price. So 10% means 0.1 into 32 is equal to 3.2, right? So discounted price after D2 is equal to 32 minus 3.2. 32 minus 3 is equal to 29. So 29 minus 0.2 is equal to 28.8. So this much amount of rupees. Okay. So the final selling price is equal to 28.8 rupees. Okay. So calculating the first discount. So first discount is equal to 20% of 40 rupees, that is equal to 8 rupees. So it will be equal to 32 rupees. So calculating the second discount, it will be 0.10 of 32. For 0.10 because 10% decimal form is 0.10. So into 332 is equal to 3.20. So what, subtracting 3.20 from 32, what we are left with is 28.80, because the final selling price is equal to discounted price after first discount minus second discount amount. So the final selling price of the item will be 28.80. Okay. So a smartphone is initially priced at 600 rupees. Okay, it is first marked up by 15% and then marked up price is marked down by 8%. Then find the final selling price. Okay, so calculating the first markup. So first markup is equal to what? 15% of 600. So it will be what? Because 15% decimal form is 0.15. So 0.15 into 600 is equal to 90 rupees. So calculating the marked up price after the first markup. So marked up price after first markup is equal to initial price plus first markup. Okay, the amount that was increased. So 600 plus 90 rupees is equal to 690 rupees. So calculating the second discount. The second discount will be what? 8% of 690. So 0.08 into 690 is equal to, it comes out to be 55.20. Okay. So the final selling price is marked up price after first markup minus second discount. Okay, or first discount you can say, because the discount is actually haven't done here for the first time. Okay. So this is equal to 690 minus 55.20. So 634.80. So the final selling price is this. Since the final selling price is this and the CP was something like this, so they gave it at a profit. Okay. So that's enough for now. Thank you.